Coming in about 6,200 pounds, this is a Rockwood 2604 here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This has the 2 chairs in the back and then the super slide with the, sofa and dinette. Pretty typical rear living couples camper. Rockwoods tends to be about one of the shorter and lightest versions of something like this. However, a lot of them come in closer to like 32 feet. Rockwoods are a little bit smaller. It's a very nice offset to the 2606, which does not have the 2 rear chairs. So which one's better kind of depends on the style of camping and the arrangement that you're looking for. Optional equipment might be shown. They might look a little bit different from this when they're here on the lot. Just kind of depends. Speaking of which, let's take a look at it first with the slide closed, because one of the furniture options that you can put in this thing really kind of changes how it works when the slide out's closed up. Now, at first glance, when you walk into the 2604, it doesn't appear to be very traveling friendly. By making the RV as short and light as possible, they did make it so that you do have to kind of move some of the furniture when the slide closes. That's just a necessary evil. But again, it's also what's keeping the RV shorter and lighter and less expensive, and nobody complains about those things. And then you look over here, and you go, God bless it, I can't walk through the thing with the slide closed unless I'm going to do the Dukes of Hazzard, yee-haw, over the countertop right there. It kind of depends on the furniture that's present. If you have a freestanding table and chairs there, it's actually very easy to walk through as opposed to the dinette. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's convenient, but it doesn't really matter because this is not your travel access door. This is your living room door. Your travel access door is actually going to be your bedroom door. And when you realize that, you realize that this camper is very traveling friendly. You can get to the storage under the bed, storage in the slide out. Now I do have that slide open currently. I forgot to leave that closed before I shot this segment. And the walk-through bathroom right here is the secret weapon that allows you to access things like your kitchen in transit. So if you need to get in here and pack up the refrigerator, the cabinetry, this is your traveling access door. And what we have is a pretty classic rear living room, 2 chairs in the back, super slide with sofa and dinette over here. This is not a new floor plan by any stretch. Basically, anybody who builds a travel trailer is going to build something like this. And they're all cool in different ways. Rockwoods has come through a little bit shorter, a little lighter weight like we talked about, but also a little bit higher end. And that's really who Rockwood is they are a higher appointment level lightweight type trailer. We're gonna hit on a lot of those little things that I mean by that. Like now, this is an optional piece of equipment we typically add here at Haylett RV, and that is the larger 15,000 BTU air system to give you that extra cooling power. Now, what's cool with a Rockwood, they always have this, is a double vented system, so you're actually going to get more airflow through this thing. It won't get colder, it'll just get down to temp and maintain it easier so that your air conditioner can take a break every now and then. A lot of people ask, well, is it some kind of crazy Four Seasons camper? And not always for cold camping. A lot of times people want to know, if I'm going to be camping where it's just hotter than sin, I need to know, is this thing going to, keep me cool on the inside? And here's the best parallel I can draw for you guys. Take a coffee cup, one of those thin foam coffee cups with scorching hot coffee in it. You can tell the coffee's in there, but it sure doesn't bother your hand, does it? Now imagine you have a 2.5 to 3.5 inch coffee cup above your head. And that kind of gives you an idea of what you have in this Rockwood to keep you protected in those hot summer climates. You're going to be fine here. We've got double row high intensity lighting, keep it nice and bright in here. This is, there's so many different ways, my God. You could make a Rockwood look so different but be equipped the same, it's not even funny. There's different flooring, there's different cabinets, there's different fabrics. They're one of the only manufacturers that lets you customize virtually every surface that you can look at. Now, this is called the Mocha Decor, which has been one of our most popular we've ever seen out of Rockwood, with the wood tone flooring and the maple wood tone, or the cabinetry upgrade. And that actually does upgrade from from flat panel cabinetry to a solid surface maple hardwood cabinet door, which is, a little bit nicer. Still gives it that really high-end look. Now, I know Rockwood really well, and they've been using this color scheme here for about 2 years. I will be shocked if they don't end up switching things up pretty soon. That'll just absolutely surprise me. But then again, this has been pretty popular. Anyway, so let's take a look over here. Let's look at the kitchen area. Even though this is a rear living room, it's got a decent kitchen, and it really starts above the chairs in the back. Those are, again, those nicer doors there. And one thing I want to point out here is the larger microwave in the kitchen of this. It's about 40% bigger than they used to be. Now, as you come down, you might have noticed that we have solid surface countertops, and those are standard across any Rockwood travel trailer with a tandem axle. And the drawers you can see are all plywood and full extension. You have that monstrous countertop extension that you can add here. And did you notice that it is also solid surface to match everything else? So the kitchen kind of expands when you need it to, and it shrinks when you don't need it to. Now, by going with the nicer countertop, they could recess the stovetop and the stainless sink so that you can get some pretty decent prep space out of here. Simple cutting board style. Here we got a little veggie prep drying rack sort of situation, but of course they can pull out to get to your double stainless sinks here. Now our chairs in the back, one of the nice things about this, not everybody's looking for a theater seat. Some folks still like the comfort and the individual function of recliners. Well, I'm sorry, these are not recliners, these are barrel chairs. But the idea is that they're individual recliners. They're swivel rocking chairs, not full-blown recliners. I want to make sure I'm very clear on that. Anyway, you've got your dual side stands over here on each side, just enough to like set a drink, set your phone to charge it, and did you notice that there's power outlets on both of those to make life simple and easy? You're going to get the nicer pleated shades through this thing to make life, a little bit more private or cooler when it is hotter than anything else out there. Pulling those shades down, by the way, that improves the R value of the window opening more than dual pane RV windows. Those dual pane things are one of the biggest rackets I've ever seen in the business. Don't spend extra money on those things. That's my message. Now, I'm not using a trick fisheye lens. This is a vaulted roof. These do have a fully laminated vaulted roof. It arches up about 2.5 inches to give you that extra open sense and headroom in here that you want. Plus, you've got the extra vent back here in addition to the vented stove. The stovetop hood does vent outside if you're cooking. This right here above your rear seats, it really helps that extra airflow to cool you off. Now you notice that the slide side windows also open for ventilation. All the windows are going to open for ventilation on this. You'll always have storage above the sofa. However, I need your help with something, folks. There are a couple different arrangements we can put right here. Now, obviously, this one has the booth dinette with the totally free-floating elliptical-based table. Generally speaking, this is one of my personal favorite arrangements because it gives you comfortable seating for 4 people. You maintain storage below the seating, and in a Rockwood, that dinette is completely aluminum skeleton inside of it, and like the cage work inside of there. But that free-floating table allows me the freedom to kind of move and shift the table forward or back however much I need to, depending on how big my belly is on a given day. Now, the other thing I want to point out here is when you get the booth, you also maintain overhead cabinet storage. In a Rockwood, when you go to the table and chairs, and a lot of people don't notice this, you actually lose those overhead cabinets because the windows get larger. Now, I think that I'm going to hear a lot of mixed reviews on this, but I'd like your feedback. Do you think a floor plan like this benefits more from having the booth and the overhead cabinet storage with a little smaller windows, or do you like the bigger windows with a freestanding table and the ability to have more easy access through the camper when the slide out is closed? That's really the push-pull on this floor plan, and I'd really love feedback on that. Enough of that. Moving on. Let me close the bathroom door here real quick, because we've actually got a pretty solid entertainment center. Rockwood was one of the first, and everybody has jumped on this bandwagon. Putting a nicer chipset into their RVs here so that you have a face-mounted HDMI plug and USB plug, so you're very streaming media friendly. The TV obviously faces the rear recliners very easily, but you can see that it also swings out and articulates so that if you want to view it from the dining area, you can. Now, this right here is a bit of a relic of times now past. This is where you used to have hookups and things like that. Before we had flat screen TVs and the entertainment center was deeper, that was something of a cabinet. But they left the flip down cabinet door because you can always find something to do with a horizontal space. A horizontal flat plane, you can always, I don't care what it is, even if you add like an extra Blu-ray player or something and plug it in real quick, you'll always find a way to use a space like that. Now, it throws some people off that they look down here and they say, well, the dummies down at the factory, they put cabinet door hinges on both sides of those doors so you can't even open them. That's by design. That's not an accident. They haven't built a camper like this for this many years and never realized that they put hinges on both sides. These are access panels to things like water pump, water heater, etc. They're things that you don't want the grandkids to get to, but when you need to access them, it's 2 simple screws to open it up. No big deal. Now, the little devils in the detail things on a Rockwood, like a little flappy doodle door stopper, which is a technical term, by the way, flappydoodledoorstopper.com, Esquire. Point is that they make sure that the cabinet door handle isn't going to smash into that cabinetry and like ding up and damage anything. So we talked about the air, talked about the lights, okay, talked about the cabinetry. I'm just kind of doing a quick mental checklist before we move on, make sure we didn't miss anything. Now this big L-shaped countertop, there's a chunk of storage under that counter that would be difficult to get to if it weren't for the fact that they put a full height door there so you can easily get to everything. You don't lose anything here. Now that is a venting kitchen window right there. It's a tilt open window. The crank is just at the bottom in the center. Otherwise you look at it and say, oh my gosh, that window doesn't even open. How stupid. It definitely does. Moving on. Actually, one thing I want to talk about. Kind of throw some people off. They'll come and look at a Rockwood and they grab these handles and they go, oh, what? Why is it wiggling? I don't like that. Again, totally by design, totally by intention, built this way on purpose. When you grab the door handle, you probably don't carefully pull it open like that, and especially if you have guests or grandkids, they always slap the door handle. It's designed to be able to wiggle like that. That is built into it on purpose. Moving through to the walk-through middle bathroom. A lot of people have shied away from walk-through bathrooms. There are advantages to these. The first of which is, especially with the freestanding table and chairs, it's far, far easier to walk through this camper. The other thing is, it is very space efficient. It allows the whole RV to be shorter, lighter, less money, obviously less weight when I implied lighter, so there you go. Extra large sink in here. This is very Forest River at large. This is something they've been doing for a lot of years to make this very easily accessible. You can actually get big hands in there is kind of what I'm getting at. And I like where they put the power outlets. They're kind of down out of the way. The corner mounted vanity here, that's something a lot of people overlook, so that you can stand straight in front of the sink and actually use it. And little, just intelligent stuff like this, like the extras, just the little touches, putting in a nice towel rack, but putting it up high enough where the towel isn't going to dangle into the sink, and I can't tell you how often I see things like that in this business. Now our shower here, this extra large radius shower gives us all kinds of elbow room. The other thing is though, by going with a vaulted laminated ceiling, they could place that skylight exactly where they wanted to, because there's no cross members to have to deal with. Laminated construction works differently. Call us if you need an explanation on that. So long story short, they could place this thing on a goofy, funky 45-degree angle, which looks very odd from the outside, but it's placed exactly where you're going to stand in front of the shower. It's just more intelligence in the design. And then again, the little Rockwood extras, including the little shower caddy up here, so you can keep your shampoos and stuff in place, because the little corner shelves that they have in these showers, they're good for exactly nothing. It's not going to get the job done. Now, we've got a simple foot flush stool right here, but as you notice as we go up, we've got a big linen cabinet all the way up behind that. Now remember that that space behind the toilet's not wasted. That's where, again, the water pump or heater or something's going to be. And you can see that max air vent fan up top there. This also includes the roof power vent cover, so that you can leave this thing open even on a drizzly, kind of crappy, rainy day like today. A day like today is exactly when you want a fan like that for that extra airflow. Because with these windows that tilt open, the frameless windows Rockwood uses, they tilt open so you can use them on a rainy day like this, but they don't get as much airflow as those sliding windows. However, they overcome that one potential deficit with the bigger max air vent fan here, because it will just straight suck in and force in extra air to give you a 6-mile-an-hour breeze through this camper. Very cool. Sliding privacy door here for the bedroom. One other thing that I like about this, like you can see that we've got a couple individual lights here for the bedroom, but you've also got your easy bedroom light switches as we come through. Now, you can build these 50 amp service. You can build them with a second air. It would kill that vent up there. In the Midwest, we don't find a big call for that. Again, being a spring, summer, fall camper, and especially with just a 15K air upgrade, we just don't see a lot of people need it, especially when there's 4 air vents up here in the bedroom alone. You're going to be able to be very comfortable in here. Now, here's that second entry door that we kind of talked about earlier, so that you do maintain more and full access to this RV basically when you are in transit. You might, depending on, again, the dinette or the freestanding table, you might have to go about it in a different way. But the fact is that you're always going to be able to get there. Now, they no longer have hanging side wardrobe closets in these Rockwoods, and that throws a lot of people off. They did this, again, completely on purpose. By sacrificing these, they've made the bedroom, which is not extremely large, but they've made it feel nice and large, especially in conjunction with that big front windshield. Well, that left room for bigger side stands, for more CPAP type friendliness or phone charger friendliness. and they've moved all the hanging closet storage over here. But the bedroom storage really starts above the bed in that overhead cabinet area. And as you kind of pan through, you can see that you've got a big hanging closet on the right side, and then they actually extended the slide. They could have stopped there, but they added the dresser storage on the left side over here to really maximize the amount of space and storage. So it's a small bedroom, but it's hyper functional. Now on top of that, we also have storage below the bed right here. The bed does lift right up, and there's you can see the aluminum skeleton work on it, and then you can see the extra little bonus drawers that come below that. To finish off the bedroom, we've got our simple TV hookups directly across from the bedroom, and I think we're good to go outside. Now, doing as little as possible and as least expensive as possible, that is just certainly not the Rockwood way. However, being the #1 selling laminated trailer, not just Ultralite, but the #1 selling laminated trailer period for I don't even know how many years, I lost track a long time ago, they have the bulk purchasing power that nobody else can match. So these guys are able to build things with higher levels of appointment for equal or less money than some other brands sometimes to give you more equipment. And that's kind of where these guys are the best, is they have sort of that higher level trim package, if you will. Rockwoods tend to be more upscale, and Rockwood is often synonymous with retirement grade as a result. If you're looking for the last RV you want to own, Rockwood should certainly be on the list. Case in point, areas where they didn't cut corners, that big, long power awning that clearly clears both of those 30-inch wide entry doors. They both have the triple steps, and they both have the larger folding handle. They don't scale down on what you'd call the secondary door just because it's not the primary door to the living room. Now, if you feel like it, that TV inside could pretty easily float outdoors and hook up to this nice little tailgate station right here, effectively. And right in the same vicinity, we have our outside grilling hookups. Now, it was kind of, I'm still actually running a little umbrella with me today because the weather was kind of not awesome. And you're thinking, oh my God, he left the table outside. Well, it's not a big deal because this is a galvanized rolled steel, which basically means that it's not a spongy wood that's going to soak up a bunch of water. It's been protected from potential weathering. Now, I'm a little out of order here, but we're standing right next to the axles, so this is something I want to talk about, and that is the fact that Rockwoods do not ride on leaf spring axles. Like if you look between here, there is nothing hooking these things together. This rides on a very different four-wheel independent suspension system. What's kind of cool about these guys, they transfer stress from high to low. So what that means is that if you are going around a corner, and the trail, like let's say you're going around one of those curly Q exits and you're trying to turn to the right to stay on the road, well, the trailer and your vehicle are trying to pull you to the left. You're kind of fighting it, right? These axles actually will try to push the trailer back flat and make the trailer lean back to the right a little bit so that cornering on this thing corners like it's on rails. They handle extremely well, and because the tires are closer together, you can jackknife into a tight parking space a lot easier with a lot less tire scrub, which means a little more lifespan on the rear tires here. Just one less little maintenance thing you're going to have to contend with. And things like that on these Rockwoods, that costs anywhere from $350 to $500 more per axle in just the mechanical construction of this thing. And to give you an idea of how well that thing works, Rockwood didn't adopt Airstream suspension. Airstream adopted Rockwood's suspension. Now, this has a big fifth wheel style drop frame storage here, so if you've got totes magoats and you need to load everything and everything else in here also, you're going to be all right. You're going to be able to do that. Now, you'll notice you got those really heavy duty, like automotive style seals. We've got double slam latches, double magnet catches, so that getting in and out of that area is very simple and easy. Now, we've got a simple solar prep plug on the corner of the chassis there, just to if you are going to do some dry camping, you can keep your batteries topped off. Now, that drop frame allowed them to put this beautiful 3/4 cap on here with that integrated automotive windshield. It's not a window, it is a windshield up front. You can actually tap on it gently with like your keys or some change in your pocket, and you can really hear the difference. Howdy, folks. The extended drop frame storage that they have in here, it does allow for a larger diamond plate to help keep this thing protected nicely as well. We've got a faster moving, higher grade power awning, power tongue jack. Setting and braking camp is simpler, faster, easier here, because aren't you supposed to have recreation in your recreational vehicle? Crazy. 30-gallon propane tanks, 30-pound propane tanks. Very, oops, very big difference in there. Now this compartment door here under that closet slide, it actually swings open, so you don't have to duck under it. Normally I'd do it, but I've got one hand on the umbrella right now. These do have an enclosed underbelly to give you that extra little bit of protection from just a quick overnight, cold snap. And better slipstreaming down the road and a little extra protection from the critters. Now, real quick, while I'm standing here, I don't know why, I just feel like talking about this right here. Let's talk construction. This has an all aluminum skeleton. Now, we do have a constructed non-laminated floor, but this has a floor like something like a Jayco Pinnacle, like a ridiculous 16,000 pound fifth wheel style floor construction in this. It's probably overkill for a smaller camper like this, but Rockwood decided on their bigger models they needed the heavier duty floor construction, like the big triple slide Rockwood signatures. So they said, you know what, we do everything the same way, we build every camper the same way, we're going to build it like this. So even a Rockwood Mini Lite, the little brother to this guy, still has that heavier duty floor construction. 5/8 tongue groove plywood floor decking, 2x3 aluminum studs every 12 inches on center in that floor, insulation laid between them. It's heavy duty. Simple black tank flush system here. Outside utility shower, hot and cold water. And this is the little access panel. This is all the stuff that's behind those double hinge doors under the TV. This is all the things that's occupying that little pocket in there. Even a nice little antifreeze inlet. So when it is winterization time, when you got to give the old girl the old pink drink of death to put her away for the season, you don't even have to take the sticky jugs antifreeze inside. Now normally I'd be more than happy to fist pound the side of these slides, but again with my hands on the umbrella that does make life difficult. So just a real quick glance at the frameless windows on the sides, looking beautiful. And again on a just crappy weather day like this, ooh, sun just came out, never mind, nice weather day like this, Mother Nature must have heard me and said, oh yeah, watch this punk. You can tilt them open for airflow, and then on nicer summer sunny days you can crank those things open, just slide them up and down and give you maximum airflow. Now this little door here will not be present if you are looking at a trailer that does have a freestanding table and chairs. This accesses one of the dinette storage benches. If you look through our photo tour here at Haylett RV, you might actually notice that one side of the bench has a drawer that opens up and one side does not. The side that does not has an access door from outside, so you can use this as supplemental exterior storage. Let me get back to the rear corner here. Easy place to look at, all LED tail and marker lights. It's still amazing how many big fifth wheels don't have all LED tail and markers still. Just stuff like that blows my mind, that here in this little 26-foot box lightweight trailer, we've got sometimes nicer equipment than the big giant Four Seasons luxury full timing fifth wheels. Spare tire cover. It's a hard shell cover to help keep it protected from the sun. Those lesser expensive little sleeve style tire covers, they're fine. They're fine, but they will get kind of raggedy over time as you zip down the road and the wind buffets them. This thing's going to look fine, and it's going to keep the tire protected. And you need to keep the spare tire protected and covered so that it's not going to get murdered from sun and weather exposure. Because if it, the tire rots out, your spare tire, and you go to swap out a flat tire from road debris or something like that, well, you need it to work. These are ready for a backup camera in the back. Pardon me. It must have inhaled air. I choked on I don't even know what. So if you're looking for a backup or an observation camera, you are going to be good to go here. I think we pretty much covered it at the ground level. Let's take a quick peek up top on that walkable roof. There goes some folks leaving a little Rockwood right now. They have good taste, I think, but maybe I'm biased. Anyway, now up here there's a couple things. The first thing, and it's something that you can't see, it's something that you feel when you walk on a trailer in person, and that is just how flippin' solid the roof of this is. This is like a no flex walk-on roof. It is absolutely built, constructed to be able to hold up, last long term. You know, it's one of the extra little indicators that I've learned to look for. Rockwood is very heavy-handed yet very clean with all of the sealants that they put around everything. They make sure that this sucker is not going to have any sort of degradation of seals anytime soon, because they make sure, I mean, they really lay it on there. But again, it's so clean in the execution. That's what impresses me. I've been on a lot of roofs, and I see a lot of like where they'll put the sealant around that cap and then it kind of drizzles a little bit as they move the wand to the next thing. You don't see that here. They're so good at it. Now another neat thing is they this is with a laminated roof structure, there's no like little air bubble gaps under the roof membrane, so it's very cohesive and solid. You're not going to have any sort of like little wiggle leaks. Now this is the bathroom vent fan I told you about with that roof vent cover. You obviously can just pop that off with those little pull hinges when it's maintenance time, but it allows you on a day like today where it's kind of drizzly, kind of not, to always keep some good airflow going through here. Now, one more thing I want to kind of point out, and usually I do a poor job of showing the physical thing, and that is this Wi-Fi Ranger. And pardon my footprints up here. Don't worry, guys. We wash campers before you take them home. We don't charge you extra for things like, you know, cleaning the camper and showing you how it works and getting it here and quality inspected. We're not a fee-based dealership. But the Wi-Fi Ranger right here, what does this do? This is basically a built-in router. I like, though, that they put it on top of the camper, because all of this aluminum structure in this Rockwood, it can form something called a Faraday cage, which is a science term. Basically, it can block wireless signals from going in and out of the camper. Now, there's not quite enough here in a Rockwood to fully interfere with everything. You're not going to like lose connectivity with your devices inside a Rockwood, but I have seen some folks, they'll step inside even different fifth wheels, and they say, huh, I'm not getting good reception in here. It's because there's so much metal skeleton around you that it can interfere with your cellular devices. So they put this up top. So what this can do is it can hook into any existing Wi-Fi source, or you can get one of those like wireless cellular sticks and plug in into the module inside effectively. And what it does is it's a local signal repeater. It's basically a router built into your camper. It can give you better, easier access to wireless sources at your destination or in travel. I've actually had people who have already hooked their phones and stuff up to the Wi-Fi Ranger system, pull into a gas station, suddenly go, huh, I got Wi-Fi, I just got an email, because it will pick up on any open network automatically, effectively. It's super cool. But they're all cool in different ways, aren't they? And that's why you see so many fun, different name brands here at Haylett RV, because they all have their unique qualities and advantages that the other ones maybe don't. They're all good in different ways, guys. Every RV is the best in different ways. One of the most common questions I get is, which one's the best? Yeah, they're all best. They're different best, you know. So which one's the best for you depends on the goals that you're looking to accomplish. And that's why we carry these things. That's why we have the whole service center up here to be able to quality inspect everything, because we want these things to stay in your driveway. We don't want you to have to call with problems, nor do we want to take that call, but we will take that call and we will get you fixed up if the need arises. Even if you're not our customer, meaning even if you didn't buy your current camper from us, we don't care. We will still work with you. So with that, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.